Hello, Savannah. I am so excited to talk to you today regarding your upcoming course, Increase Your Success as a Special Education Resource Teacher. Really looking forward to your answers that you got. So let's jump on in. Question one, what are some key characteristics of highly effective special education teachers, and how, will this workshop support special education teachers in building a robust toolkit of strategies?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so, the good news is that we don't have to find or research or even come up with a list of these highly effective characteristics of special education teachers. In fact, the Council of Exceptional Children has done that for us. And what they've found is there are 22 high leverage practices that every single special education teacher should understand, should have in their toolkit to really support our learners with exceptionalities. And these 22 high leverage practices, they fit into four pretty big categories. The four categories are instruction, assessment, collaboration, and then social-emotional behavioral learning practices. And so our workshop will actually look at two of these big categories. We'll be looking at instruction, specifically specially designed instruction, what it looks like and sounds like in not just face-to-face type setting, but also amongst our virtual learning or even hybrid learning opportunities that we have with our learners this school year. And then we'll also look at the assessment, progress monitoring. So we'll gain a lot of great assessment strategies to ensure that we are supporting our students around that academic component nicely. So we'll jump into those two and accrue dozens and dozens of instructional strategies that can be used in face-to-face as well as our virtual learning environments.
Great. We're really looking forward to that. So the big, thing right now, the big question is around hybrid and virtual learning, and that it's impossible to meet the needs of a student with a disability using these virtual formats. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so first of all, it's not impossible, but yes, it is definitely going to be a little more challenging. Someone said that teaching virtually is so much easier than teaching face-to-face. I would like that person to shadow a teacher for just one day to really just understand that it's not the case. And so even though it is more challenging, the really nice thing about technology is that we can still provide our students really meaningful quality instruction over, Zoom or Google Meets or whichever platform we're using. It will require a little bit more creativity, a little bit more planning, intentional planning for it, but it's definitely possible to meet our students' learning needs via, whichever virtual learning platform we're using. A great example I like to give of that is maybe we're doing some really great work around phonemic awareness. Now, we love the hands-on, and I say keep hands-on, right? Keep all of that really great stuff that we've been doing, but consider what other technology tools are out there that can still help support letter and print awareness, such as, using Google Jamboard, where students can still interact. In fact, the University of Florida, they have a whole virtual teaching hub, which has tons of free resources around supporting phonemic awareness. So yes, it is possible. It will require a little bit more intentional and thoughtful planning, but we're in this together, team, so we can do it.
That is true. Last question, kind of tricky. If you had to name one thing, and I know in your seminar you're going to list a million things, but one thing, what right now do you find is the most important instructional move that a special education teacher can do to support learning, during this unprecedented time?
Yeah, we're definitely in an unprecedented time, but it's also a time where we're able to come together as a school community and look at each other's strengths, look at each other's interest and build together. We're building this unique, innovative plane as it's flying, and I'm convinced that this plane is going to be the best plane yet. So in addition to providing specially designed instruction, I believe that as special educators, social emotional learning should be paramount. We look at the definition around trauma, and it can be defined as an adverse experience that can impact a person's ability to cope. And so if you enter in 2020 with COVID-19, all of the different economic, racial pandemics, this is a huge year in terms of, our politics. I think we're all experiencing collective trauma, right? We're all in this together. And it's important to remember that our students are also undergoing this collective trauma. And so some of our learners are super excited about virtual or hybrid learning, and others aren't. And as special educators, we can really lead the charge in social emotional learning. That means that we're intentional about building communities. We're intentional about providing students opportunities to talk about how they're feeling. We're providing students opportunities to talk about, how we can build our community as a team. We're building empathy. We're building connections. And as special educators, we're strategic about this work, social emotional learning. So in addition to SDI, SEL is right at the forefront. We want to be very intentional with social emotional learning.
Sure, yeah. I have so many questions and so many other things I want to ask, but I really think your course will dive into so much more, and I think it'll be extremely valuable to any of those who work in special education for sure. So thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thanks, team, and I look forward to seeing everyone at our Increase Your Success as a Special Education Resource Teacher. We're going to have a ball.